Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your teen tarot reading. So the energy that I feel coming through for this month is I feel like it's going to be a fairly easy month, but the message is that things are going to get better, and it's important for you to hang in there. In the meantime, the focal point for this spread deals a lot with your financial situation, and it deals a lot with alleviating some of the challenges in the workplace so that you can get started again on track on your career path. Okay, I feel like for the past 3 months, many of you have been in a work environment where you actually are thrust into a position of power, in a position to implement some major changes within the work environment. And I feel like you had a lot of ideas. You came in there very excited, very enthusiastic to be making some changes that are, really deepening or widening of the workplace in terms of like expanding, into a different branch, opening up a new branch, expanding your business propositions, expanding your business prospects, expanding client base, for example. And then for others of you, I do see, procedural changes that you are making. So that could be changing software in the company that you're working at, changing how things are being done, what technology is being implemented, as well as, reporting procedures. So procedures for writing reports, procedures for how something is being done. So I feel like you have spent the last 3 months making some very, very big sweeping changes in the workplace. And I feel like a lot of you might be in a supervisory or even in a managerial type of a position. Some of you might be a director, even at an institution. And so you are, doing a lot of new things, implementing new techniques. And the past 3 months has kind of like been the trial and error stage, where what wasn't working, you started doing some new formats, and then you're waiting it out to see how it is being perceived by the people that are working under you, to see if it is really time saving, to see if it's able to increase productivity in a work situation. And so coming into the month of March, you are writing a lot of reports, and I feel some of you, whatever has been implemented, you're trying to, document the pros and cons, how it is able to help the company overall, increase or enhance productivity, and some of the drawbacks in some of the programs that are being implemented. And so you're documenting everything. And I feel a lot of you are going to be submitting that. Okay. And I feel like there are a lot more that you want to say in your reports, in your assessment. But I feel like you don't want to stir things up too much. And so you're keeping some information somewhat hidden. Not in a bad way, but I feel that, there's so much on your mind. There is like, it's like you saw a lot of inefficiencies in the work environment, and you want everything to come to light. And there might have been specific people, coworkers, colleagues, even supervisors who might not have been doing their job. And I feel like you want to expose them for, for their work ethics or lack of work ethics. But for, diplomatic reasons, you might, it's also in your professional best interest, but for diplomatic reasons, I feel like you don't want to rock the boat too much. And so you're keeping some information hidden. And so you're compiling reports, and you're only submitting the vital information, which is, this software works, this one doesn't. This procedure works, this one doesn't. And so you are going to be concealing some information regarding other people's work ethics, even though you want to give, your supervisors a piece of your mind. I still feel like, for out of professional courtesy, you are going to hold some things back. Okay. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that, because I feel like whatever people's performance record is, it is documented. People are aware of it. It just feels to me like, as a fire sign, you are a little bit more sensitive when people are not where they're supposed to be, when people are not conducting themselves in a most honorable manner. And so you're very sensitive to these nuances. And I feel like you might be thrust into a position of power because people know you're going to shake things up. People know that you're going to get things going, and people know that you're going to be cleaning house in a very thorough manner. Some of you might be as well in a position where you might have to let people go. You might be, in the room where you tell people you're fired or your services are no longer needed with our company. And I feel like it's a difficult situation to be in. And at the same time, if somebody's performance just doesn't measure up, it's easy for you to tell them you're fired. But then along with it, you will see the emotional toll that it is taking on the other person. And a part of you is going to feel very regretful. A part of you is going to feel very saddened by it. And, that's just the normal process of life. But I feel like some of you are going to actually be in a position to do the firing. And they're going to ask, like, but why? And you're still going to have to be quite, diplomatic, and you're going to have to hold back some information as to why they're really fired. And so you might be feeling bad, and you might have to, emphasize their strengths and downplay their weaknesses, even though you feel like I should really tell them the truth. So I feel like you're grappling with your words. You're grappling with, the things that you want to say versus the thing that you need to say in a given situation. And I feel like, that's going to be very prominent in your work environment. But that's also going to be very, very prominent as well in your friendship circle, in the people that, with the people that you're interacting with overall. You might have to, decline a few dates, right? You might go on a date with somebody and they're really digging you. They're very, very attracted to you, but you might not be feeling them, because I have here in the 5th house, the Temperance card in the reverse. And the Temperance card in the reverse is like going on a date with somebody, and it rules the creative house. It rules fun, excitement, how you entertain yourself. And it also rules dating too, the things that we do to invite fun and enjoyment into our lives. And with the Temperance card in the reverse, this is your card. You might not be feeling the other person. And, they might say like, oh, let's go for date number 3, number 4. And you're like, thank you, but no thank you. And you might not have, they might ask you why. And you're trying to not hurt their feelings. You're trying to do a lot of, sugarcoating this month so that they don't, so that it doesn't hurt their self-esteem. And, there is sugarcoating and being courteous is great. But a lot of the times, maybe we don't have to completely conceal the truth. Maybe there is a middle ground between sugarcoating and telling somebody what they need to hear so that they can make positive changes in their own lives. And a lot of the times too, Sagittarius, you pride yourself on, being able to bounce back easily. You do bounce back very, very quickly compared to all the other signs that I've encountered. I feel that you're innately very optimistic. And even when life deals you with a blow, you bounce back and you become your jolly old self. And when you're dealing with other people, just keep in mind as well that some people have greater sensitivities than others. And I feel like you might have been in a situation recently, within the past 3 months, where the things people said might have been quite harsh, but you bounce back. And so you're being extra courteous this month, and you don't want to hurt other people's feelings. But I feel like, some things need to be put out there. Some things need to be said in a very blunt manner. And that's where you're going to shine. So I feel like, don't err too much on the side of caution. Say what needs to be said within reason. Don't go looking for a fight, but at the same time, if something that is a recurring problem is not addressed, it's by keeping quiet, we are enabling it to continue, right? And that's not something that you want long term. So you want to be a little bit careful about stating the truth and how you want the truth to be expressed, because you have a lot of control here. And so sugarcoating might not be the best option for this month, okay? What I'm also sensing is this is the energy that you're coming into the month of with. We have here the Lovers in the reverse position. So this is not just a relationship card. It extends across all areas of our lives. And a lot of the times too, with the Lovers in the reverse, it basically means a situation where there has been too many people involved where they shouldn't be involved in. Too many people offering their opinions, their personal biases, their personal agenda, injecting their personal beliefs into a situation and interfering with the situation rather than letting it naturally unfold. In the past, you have been involved in this situation, and you realize that the more people that are involved, the longer the process takes. You might be dealing with some health issues, and there has been, second, third, fourth opinion. There has been a lot of people involved, nurses, doctors, chiropractors, even acupressurists, and and then you might have like situations where there has been conflicting points of view. And so as a result of it, there has been multiple diagnoses without getting to a definitive, conclusion. And as well, I feel like it might have been a situation happening in your work environment where too many people are involved. Too many people are meddling into a specific situation. And things took a lot longer. Things might have taken a turn for the worse, and things took a lot longer to change. And I feel some of you are frustrated because you have an idea of how, it's going to play out. And you feel like if I do this, the other person does that, and we keep it between the two of us, then it's going to go according to plan. But in the process, such is life. Other people get involved and they offer their input unsolicited. And I feel like, it makes things complicated. And it creates this, it creates this ball of yarn. And then you have to unravel it by yourself. And it just makes it very complicated. So you might have been in a frustrating situation where too many people were involved. And it made the situation too complicated, too messy. And so that's what I feel is happening here. The other thing I'm sensing is this is, in terms of a relationship, this is a situation where you are butting heads with another person. So I'm feeling on the one hand, there is a lot of, chemistry, a lot of physical attraction. This is a card about lust. This is a card about, just wanting to be gratified physically. And when it shows up in the reverse, it's basically telling you, you might encounter people that you want to date, that you are currently dating. And the relationship is very lustful. The relationship is very exciting. It's also two people coming together who are so different from each other. It's like night and day. And aside from the physical connection, they're asking you, is this going to be long term? Aside from the physical connection, are there other things that are tying the relationship together? Are there other things that that will keep you both together for the long run? For the long haul, in the long run. And they're telling you as well, I feel like this might be a relationship that you need right now because you have, things are going well in your life. And I feel like you're looking for a distraction. You're looking for fun. You're looking for excitement. And if you can be honest with yourself about that, and there's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's between consenting adults, right? And if you can be honest with yourself, then I feel like this can be, a very good relationship to pursue for the time being. But I just don't feel it panning out for the long run, like for, the long term. So that's just another area of your life that you want to be very honest about as well, okay? I feel that the financial situation, for those of you who are, stably employed in a position, but there might be, challenges in the work environment, seeing eye to eye with another person, encountering a lot of just different, like creative differences with another person. I still feel like your financial situation is very, very stable. You're shown up here as the hangman in your finance sector. And with the hangman, it's sort of like a situation that is uncomfortable, but it's doable, it's manageable. And then for others of you, this card also signifies waiting. Waiting for a new opportunity to allow us the freedom to, handle our own projects, the freedom to manage and the freedom to do things and have the results the way that, have control over the work that we do, have control over how we make our money. So I feel like some of you might be waiting on new jobs. Some of you might be kind of like waiting out for the work situation to get better, waiting around for the work situation to improve, for it to get better, or waiting on, restructuring within a company to see if there is a merger or to see if there is going to be a split, so that you know whether or not your job is secure. So I feel like it's an uncomfortable waiting period, but they say that you're going to be able to sail on from it, okay? And sailing on from it basically means, getting a new job, landing a new job. And I do feel as well the energy here is supported for you to start looking elsewhere as well, for you to start putting your feelers out there to see what else is available for you in the work front. I'm seeing a lot of people who might be self-employed, working from home. So they mention a home-based business here with this Nine of Pentacles. It's falling in your fourth house of home. So with income generation at home. So I'm inclined to believe that, a lot of you are in a working from home, earning money from home, or even you might be making money through other means, okay? So if that's the case, your financial situation looks really, really stable coming through the month of, so not to worry. And as well, if you are waiting on, money coming through from an institution, because I feel like you might have investment opportunities. So you might invest in property and there's money coming through consistently from tenants, or you might own property and money, royalty dues that are coming through for you as well. So I feel like there's some waiting, there's some readjustment that is needed in your income sector. But a lot of it deals with, I feel like the money situation is stable for the here and now in the present moment, especially in the month of, but they're also asking you long term, is what you're doing going to be sustainable long term? And you need to start thinking about, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, whether or not it's still sustainable. So I feel like a lot of you are thinking about long term too. And they're trying to tell you what is the most feasible, thing to do long term. And I see you in your career. This is a card about going back to a previous situation, going back to a similar situation. And I feel that it actually would be good for you. But right now, the process about going back, it might not happen until the summer time frame, which is, June, July. Right now, they're trying to tell you, put your feelers out there and see what else is available. And if you are looking for work right now, the competition is quite fierce in your environment. So that means a lot of people are applying for the same jobs that you are applying for. So the delay is going to be inevitable, right? So it's just a matter of waiting it out and taking offers that come through, even though they're not our first or second choice, but they're still viable options that will allow you to alleviate your concerns about, finding work or concerns about money, okay? I do see summertime being a major time period for breakthroughs when it comes to things sorting themselves out, things, righting themselves again. And, the dust settling where you start to be able to make traction in your work front, where, tension and conflict will not be a major source of concern anymore. Because here we have the communication card, the Seven of Wands in the communication house, excuse me. And this is a card about standing up for our values, stating our truth, even though the people around us might not agree with us, okay? So I feel like it's not time to sugarcoat. It's really time for you to give people a dose of your truth, because your truth is not personal. You don't want to physically attack anybody or verbally attack anybody. You're just stating what you see. And a lot of the times too, Sagittarius has this really, really blunt energy about them, where they sum up a situation in a very, very short sentence. And it is what it is. So I feel like your ability to be very truthful and to be very blunt is going to go a long way in helping you clear up misunderstandings in the work environment, if there has been that, or even misunderstandings in relationships as well, if that has been an ongoing issue. And for you to be able to, stand up for your truth and not let people walk all over you. And you're not the sign to let people walk all over you. People generally respect you because they know that you're not a doormat. But I do feel like this, you've been sugarcoating things. You've been trying to, do things in a procedurally or even in a politically correct manner. And it's really important this month for you to just say, here's what I'm seeing. Despite everything I'm telling you, here's a summary of everything that happened. I'm feeling some of you might be called into like a supervisor's office, not for a reprimand, but to, they're asking you, hey, how do you feel about this? They're kind of testing the waters with you. And I feel like it's really important for you to be very, very honest. If something's not working and you see why, I feel that you should, state your case. And I feel like, they're asking you in an informal, off the record way, like, what's going on with work? Here's, can you give us some insights into this specific work situation and why it happened the way it did? And I feel that it would be in your best interest to state your case, okay? In your family situation, I feel like things are going really well because we have here the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card about stability. And it's also shown in your foundation as well. So I do feel a lot of communication as well coming through from family members. I do see financial, they're saying like financial inflow coming from family members or even a financial outflow. Your home environment looks stable. I feel like you're in a very, very stable home right now. It might be growing. Like if you have a home that you own, it might be appreciating in value very rapidly as well. So invest in keeping it, structurally sound. Okay, invest in your property. Invest in clearing up, the garden, doing some landscaping and things like that. I feel some of you are in a very, very good home that has, tremendous growth and appreciation in value. So the relationship sector is the other thing that I feel is that needs to be touched upon. The Strength card. This is a card, once again, about attraction. Okay, two people who are very, very different, but there is a very strong soul connection. There is also this penchant to accidentally, unintentionally rub each other the wrong way. But I feel like this is a relationship that is built on a lot of trust. It's built on a lot of mutual respect of one another. So I feel like you're with a partner that is able to hold his or her own. They're not a doormat. And I feel like that's where the clashes are coming from, because either of you, both people are just you hold very strongly to your values. Both people are very self-sufficient, independent and self-sufficient as well. And so you're not, you're still trying to navigate, like how to work together with another person. But overall, I do see a lot of chemistry here. We have the Lovers as well as the Strength card, which denotes a lot of excitement, a lot of chemistry, a lot of just good energies flowing back and forth. There might be, lack of agreement or incompatibilities overall, but I do feel that it can still work, okay? Let me see if there's anything else I'm leaving out here. I do sense as well in your friendship circle, Sagittarius, this is another thing that I want to mention here. People that are bringing you a lot of problems, okay? So look back at the last 2 years. Look back at the last 2 years. Are there certain friends, group associates, or, colleagues that are bringing you a lot of problems? I feel like it is really important for you to really state your case and try to, close some doors on some people. Because I feel like this same energy, this very childish, competitive, a little bit of envy coming through in your friendship sector as well. So this is a combative energy. It's not always bad, but I do feel it's surrounded here by, the 2 sword cards, which indicates that things that might be hidden from you, envy and a little bit of conflict brewing in your friendship sector. So you yourself might be attracting a lot of people who are very independent, who are very, they're very strong-minded and they're quite stubborn. So they will say whatever they want to say without fear of hurting other people's feelings. They might be just a little bit insensitive. So that's just another area of concern that I'm seeing coming through for this month. But aside from that, things are going to be flowing very nicely. For those of you who are single, this is a card about patience. The great love will come into the picture, but they are telling you to be patient, date around, date a few people, date outside of your usual type to find out what works and what doesn't work for you, to solidify what you really want before you can, attract what is right for you. Okay. So I have some good things coming through. I don't see money being a problem for any of you. I feel as well, in your work situation, whatever changes you have made recently, you're going to be able to see the benefits of it, or you're going to be able to see things come to fruition. But it is telling me, to be a little bit more patient. It is going to come, and it's going to come in small waves and in a very slow manner. So it's not like one big thing, that just explodes and everything culminates. It's more like things happening in steps, in small steps and small stages, okay? Change is coming, but it's going to be a little bit slower. And slow changes are less disruptive overall. So it's actually going to be a good thing, okay? So let me see what's going on for you guys in terms of love and relationships. I'm going to leave that out. So that deals with your 7th house. It deals with relationships. So I'm going to use that to transition into your love reading. Let me see what's in store for you guys. Sagittarius, love, romance, and relationship for the month of 18. Okay, so we've got the Temperance card again. I feel like a lot of, there might be quite a few Sagittarius single people watching this. Even if you're coupled up, there is a great deal of independence between you and your partner. It's almost as if you lead, your own lives, and then you come together when you both have time, and then you go off to your separate households. So it feels like there's a lot of independence here. There's a great deal of trust, and there's a lot of attraction, like physical attraction. If there's anything. Okay, so you've got some good cards here. Okay, so let me talk about the past first so that we know where we stand, okay? In the past, we have here the 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords is dealing with somebody who was not what they appear. So they misrepresented themselves. There might have been some deception. There might have been some lies, some deceits, and just a lot of suspicions coming through from a relationship partner that you were involved with in the past. When it shows up in the reverse, it's basically, things being revealed, okay? And things can be revealed in a physical way where you get actual evidence that somebody's lying. You catch them in the act and things like that. Or things can be revealed in a more less tangible way. So that can be, hearing rumors, hearing things being spread. But either way, this is a card about coming to terms with whatever that has been revealed and leaving the person behind. So I feel like this is something shown up in your past. It might have been, like a significant relationship. And it's linked up here with the 5 of Wands. You might have been involved with this person for, 5 years or even the past 5 years. And with the 5 of Wands, this is a conflict card. So this also fell out earlier. The 5 of Wands is a person that you have been involved with where you cannot see eye to eye. And I feel like every time you try to confront them, they were very evasive. And I feel like this is a very cyclical pattern. They might have been just deceitful. They might have spun the situation around, it seems like you were dealing with somebody that was really difficult to catch in the act, and they were very elusive. And I feel like, truth came to light. You have left this person behind. But what they're saying here is, it's not about catching them in the act. It's accepting the fact that you both are just very incompatible. And no matter what, it wasn't going to work out. And so if you're still, trying to figure out what went wrong, what they did, and so that you can have the proof that you want and need so you can move on, the bottom line is, I feel that, every time you try to confront them, they were very elusive. And they had some things to hide. And innately, the relationship was very incompatible. Okay? So I feel like you have left this person behind from your past, which brings us to the present predicament that you're in right now. We have the Temperance card. The Temperance card being you in the upright position, it shows a very, very stable emotional state. So this is a really good card. I feel that you are in the process of, healing. You might run into the same person in your social circle and you're putting on a brave face. I feel like you see them for what they are. You know that situation was not good for you, but you might still run in the same social circle. And so you put on an air like, oh, I'm totally okay. Even though I feel like you might still be wondering, I wonder who they're with. I wonder if they're single. But I don't see you like ruminating over the past. I feel like you're accepting that it is what it is. But, it still hurts. The end of a relationship years later, it still brings us like little things of it still hurts a little bit. So I feel like you're still dealing with that. Okay, and you're putting on a brave face. You're pretending that everything is okay. And I feel like things will be okay for you because you're moving past it and you know that it's not good for you. So I feel a lot of rebuilding yourself, a lot of inner work that a lot of you guys Sagittarius singles are doing on your own right now. We have as well the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups in the reverse basically indicates a dating situation where you are narrowing your options. So I feel like you have definitely put yourself out there, started dating new people. Give me just 1 second. I feel like since last year, 2016, I feel like you might have put yourself out there, started dating a few people, trying to navigate the whole, the awkwardness of dating. So you might have encountered some people that were not, I feel like you might have encountered some people that were not ready to date, and you sat through the date and never called them back because you realized that, oh, they're not really ready. And they might have been contacting you, trying to figure out what went wrong. I thought we really hit it off. And you never, gave them an explanation. So honestly, if somebody is asking you, like, why not me? Or, what went wrong? I feel that overall as human beings, it is really good to let somebody know and, do it in a delicate manner. We're not trying to rip them to shreds, but it actually would allow them an opportunity to learn and grow. And a lot of the times people are too are too afraid to be honest. So I feel like, you might have just avoided them, but I feel like they needed to know, they needed to hear some truths from you. And so I feel like, if you started dating in December, I feel like the environment was not conducive for meeting new people. And so you might have stopped dating because you're just like, oh, the people were not ready or the people were not high caliber. But this is the month in March where things are going to be different, okay? So keep at it, keep dating, especially those of you who are single. And if you have been, kind of jaded from her and you might have thought that, oh, the people that are coming through are not very viable options, I feel like things are going to change. We have here, crowning this reading, and the crowning energy is something that you're thinking about. We have here the Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands indicates a relationship, right? As well as the Magician. So I feel like a lot of you are trying to manifest the right relationship partner. And we have this person here shown up as the Magician. The Magician is somebody who's really intelligent. And I feel like they're quite attractive, okay? They have this charisma, this allure. And they can turn heads wherever they go. So you're thinking about somebody, or others of you who has a specific person in mind. With the Magician energy, it's somebody who's quite extravagant, not in a bad way. They're really intelligent, quite accomplished, really, really smart. And they can, they're quite charming, quite diplomatic. And they're very easy to be around because, the Magician in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, he has like all the elements on the table. So he has the pentacles, the sword, the wands, as well as the cup. So it's almost like a social chameleon. He knows how to relate to everybody from all walks of life. And the only downside to this is you have to be very, very careful about this person being a little bit more of a talker than a doer. But I feel like you have somebody in mind that you really like and you want to pursue, second and third dates with them. And so we have some good prospects here for those of you who are singles. They're saying to be a little bit cautious, to take things very, very slowly. This is a charmer. This is somebody, not that it can't work. It's a very powerful person with a very powerful presence. And so you need to get through, third, fourth dates before you decide whether or not they are real. So it's not that it can't work, it's just you want to be a little bit careful because they might be over talking and they can't deliver on whatever they promise. So I feel like some of you are really attracted to another person and you want to form a relationship with that person and you're still in the process of trying to decide, is this the right person? When should I ask them? And so, I do feel some of you are dating somebody, not exclusively yet, but you are dating somebody who has a very powerful presence. I'm seeing somebody who's really intelligent, dresses very well, is a little bit like extravagant with their money. I feel like they make quite a bit of money, but still, take your time. He's not going anywhere. He or she's not going anywhere. So take your time and try to get to know the other person before you jump in, okay? So the foundation for others of you, we have here you going back to a person from the past or still thinking about the person from the past. The relationship was very conflict ridden. So it's like full with lack of mutual understanding, lack of agreement, lack of consensus, as well as, very circular type of the same problems creeping up over and over and over and over again. So I feel like some of you are going back to this, or you are being solicited. The other person knows how to reel you in because they're very smart. And so you're being sucked back in. And I feel like on the one hand, some of you are very flattered that they are still interested in you. But I feel like you need to be very careful because there's a lot of conflict here. And it seems to me there might have been indiscretion in the past as well. So don't go back to it. Don't try to fix it, okay? Others of you are just going to put your protective walls up here with the Nine of Cups. And so you have the options, so you won't be returning to the past, okay? Which is good. So I feel like it's going both ways, but Sagittarius, honestly, I feel like most of you are not going to be going back to it, not even engaging in it. Most of you are trying to move on, have started dating already if you are single. And for others of you, I feel like you are with another person and they make you really happy here. We have, the Nine of Cups. This is a card about wish fulfillment. So you're with somebody who dishes out a lot of gifts, who buys you little trinkets here and there, flowers, candy. I'm seeing food. I'm seeing a lot of food, candy, a lot of cute stuff, I keep seeing like wildflowers. So they might buy you flowers or they might just, pick flowers along the way and put it in your hair if you are a female. And so I feel like you're dealing with someone who's very sweet. There is some incompatibilities here. There's some, not seeing eye to eye. And I also feel like you're dealing with somebody that has a lot of potential actually. But it might be long distance. So some of you, this could be a long distance relationship here with the Two of Wands, where there's some geographical divide, between you and the other person. And you're still trying to make the relationship happen, which is fine. So moving on into the future here for the rest of this month, what you can expect. We have here the Eight of Swords, which is a situation where we are feeling a little bit tongue-tied, okay? So I feel like sometime for this month in your dating environment, also in your relationship, there might be conflict brewing. I don't feel like it's serious conflict, but there might be situations where you're going to have to be very honest with each other. Like, where do we go from here? How do you feel about me? And you're just like, I don't really want to be the first one to put cards on the table. I want them to, tell me how they feel about me before I decide. So there's going to be a major decision that needs to be made about the status of your relationship. Do we date other people or do we date exclusively? Do we get engaged or do we get married? So I feel like some major milestone moment is happening here with the Eight of Swords, which basically means that if you are kind of like stuck and not knowing where to go with the relationship, there is a major chain of events happening here with the Wheel of Fortune as well as the Ten of Coins, which denotes a solidification of a relationship, taking the relationship to the next level. And this is a card about cooperation, two people working together to build something of value that is going to stand the test of time. So If you are worried or concerned about your relationship and you're not really sure where it's headed, I feel like there is going to be a grand gesture coming through from the other person. I feel like some of you might be, let me see here. I feel that it might be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And the water sign might be somebody from the past. If it's a person from the past, you're not going to be going back to it. I don't feel a lot of you are. And so I'm seeing here an earth sign in the future, earth energy, so Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. I'm also seeing a water sign, and this might be somebody new. So if you're single out there, I do see earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But I feel like they embody the energies rather than, embodying the sign. So I feel like you have somebody who is looking for love and commitment. You have somebody who's very established and who is looking for more of a stable relationship. So you have some good things coming through. For those of you in relationships right now, I feel like you're with somebody and you're very, very incompatible, but there's great chemistry, and there's nothing wrong with that. We learn from people who are different from us. If you have had conflict in the past, this is the month in which they're going to, smooth things out. So I feel like somebody's mad at someone. You might be mad at your partner might be mad at you. If there has been some conflict in the area, I feel like this month things are going to smooth themselves out. There's going to be a major gesture made in terms of an apology for you to straighten things out with them. And so it looks good. There's a lot of reconciliation. There's a lot of truths being, hashed out, things being resolved, conflicts being kind of suppressed. Maybe not suppressed, like in denial suppressed, but more like conflicts coming to the surface so both people can, deal with it in a very high-minded manner. So it's not about petty disputes. This is more about, let's look at the big picture together and see how we both can move forward. And we also have, the family card here. So I do sense that you are with somebody, if it's a new person, you are with somebody that can go the distance with you. So if you're kind of like confused and worried about, where your relationship is headed, I feel like it's headed towards stability. And if you have somebody in mind that is really intelligent, really sweeps you off your feet, and you're wondering whether or not the person likes you, I feel like things are being reciprocated here. Feelings are being reciprocated in a very big way, okay, like with grand gestures, with very sincere offers, okay, Sagittarius? Things are looking really good for your relationship sector. I feel like just your career, you want to get back out there and rebuild your career, okay, for many of you. And I do wish you the best, Sagittarius. It looks like, much needed, good flow of energy after, last year, right? So if you'd like to book a private reading with me, please visit my website. The information is in the description box below. And if you'd also like to donate to the channel, it's greatly appreciated. I have the donation link below as well. I will be back for the mid-month reading, and I'll see you then, okay? Take care of yourself, Sagittarius. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the middle of... Bye-bye.